On Saturday, the 5th of August, Alexander Zinchenko is going to be hosting a very special game for Ukraine. It's going to be taking place at Stamford Bridge, raising funds to rebuild a school in war-torn Ukraine. Now, there's going to be some real legends playing in this game. Now, if you can't get down there on the day, you will be able to join us in the metaverse, where you'll be able to come through and be a part of the game. You don't need to be at the stadium. You can actually be involved. This is for a great cause. It's building a better future for the children in Ukraine. Click the link in the description right now and get involved. This is going to be big. Hi and welcome along to the Transfer Roundup. It's great to be back in the UK here for the Roundup. Listen, we got a brilliant lineup for you today. Fuad is in the building. I saw that live thing you did the other day, man. That looked good.
SDS live show, yeah, that was wicked, man. Kind of, obviously, they guys over there, Sharking, have been building that, I think, for the past 3 years. It's the first ever one, and 200 people turned out. And honestly, I think, obviously, you were saying just before the show, some of the love you were getting at out there in the US. Honestly, some of the love we were getting after that live show, I was like, wow, fair enough.
Brilliant,
definitely won't be the first or the last, I'll tell you that.
Especially
So plenty more to come.
Something, right? You know what I mean?
For
you still to get the love after that, you know what I mean?
They gave us a chance to have our own like little intros, and I went, yo, what better way? Let's do WWE style. HBK, why not?
It's wicked, man. It's wicked. We've got Alex GT in the building.
Good to have you back, Rob.
Good to be back, man. I'm glad that you're feeling better. I know that you was in Jamaica and got a little ill over there.
Yeah. Me good though. Me bless up now. Everything
Chris. The accent and that, man. Come up with accent now.
Hey, we're calling the yard man out there.
White, the new white yard. Mad. And we got Matisse in the building as well. Big up to Matisse, man. How you?
Yeah, I'm very good, very good. I just need the season to start. I'm looking forward to some competitive games, man. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen enough friendlies now. I'm ready for the season.
Well, whilst I was over in the US and Chelsea were out there playing a load of friendlies, weren't they?
Yeah.
Doing pretty well in their friendlies.
Yeah, unbeaten so far. I wanted to win all of them, to be honest. You know, it's been a while since I've seen my team winning, so I'm taking these friendlies very seriously. But we're playing well. Still need a couple little tweaks to the team, but so far it's going so good. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know the drill on the show. We take a look at all the big transfer news that is going around at the moment. Let's start on Chelsea, right? Because Chelsea look like they're about to make a signing. Axel Disasi of Monaco. Documents and paperwork have been exchanged.
He's a big fan of the League On in Football Manager.
5-year deal. A 5-year deal with an option till 2029. Chelsea will pay Monaco 45 million euros, and the medical's been booked for early in the week. Of course, you've had that injury
to Fofana.
Yeah. That guy's so unlucky, that guy, man.
2 ACLs in a row.
Yeah, I'm gutted for him, man. But do you think Disasi will come straight into the team?
He has to. Well, I think when you pay 45 million euro for a defender, they got to be really looking to take a first team spot. I think that's the idea, is to replace Fofana. I've never seen him, so you know, he's 25 years old. He looks like he's quite an aggressive defender, people are saying, and his aerial ability in terms of percentage is quite strong, which is good because our goalkeeper won't be collecting any crosses, Kepa. So that was something that I was looking at instantly for any defender that came in, but I've never seen him, so I don't know what to expect. He's kind of one of those signings that we've once again gone to our scouting team. They've done their due diligence and they've tried to look at the market and see what they can get. And the French market is a good market to attack for Premier League teams. You look at Mahrez coming from the lower divisions, Kante as well. There's been a lot of success, you know, for players translating over, and I think that's a market that you can get good value for money.
Hazard as well.
I think it's always shown to be like a
5 million euros
conveyor
I'm
belt of
surprised it's a
talent.
5-year deal. Is it not 9-10-year deal?
Nah. He's 25, so it takes him up to 30, 31. So that's why.
I was asked a question. He said value for money. 45 million pounds, or 40, call it around about 40 million pounds for he's not really a French international, is he?
So he had
He's in and around the squad. He was in the
squad.
World Cup squad as well. I think he's played with Badiashile, who you signed previously as well. So I think
that sort of price for a guy that's not.
I think would have potentially. I think they would have potentially been better off, in my opinion, giving Chalobah an actual run of games. I think he's shown, in the times he's been given, he can be reliable in a few positions as well. I don't know if Disasi is that much of an upgrade on Chalobah, in my opinion. I think they're around the same level. I think when you look at kind of Badiashile for Fofana, I think their potential's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But could he come in and kind of provide sufficient cover while you lot have a top 4 hunt? I think he can do that.
What happens to him?
Cole will play on
Cole
the
will
left.
be the starter.
Yeah, he'll play on the left.
I think Thiago Silva, ideally, but Disasi now comes in. He's just giving you extra options, I guess. But I think Chalobah, he could have benefited from those kind of extra minutes, if you like.
It feels like Chalobah will leave now, and Disasi will play on the right. I think the only question with Chalobah is can he do it in a back 4 on a consistent basis, because he's kind of played in a 3, he's played right back as well, but in a 4 we've never seen him consistently. I was quite cool with giving him the opportunity, because I think, like you said, he has shown that he can step in and do a job. There's still areas of his game where he can get caught out, but I don't know if this player coming in is going to be a level above. But I know aerially he will be, and he will definitely dominate, and we need that. We need to be a threat on set pieces again. I remember when we played Arsenal at Stamford Bridge last season, we got bullied. So we do need a little bit more strength, power, aggression, Rudiger kind of in the team. And it seems like if you're going to complement Cole and Badiashile, they're the more calm, composed defenders. He will be the more aggressive one. So we'll have to see how it goes. It's one of those signings where you look at the Premier League and what they were going to look for Mark Guehi, which was another target, probably 50 million, 55 million. So yeah, I think for me, I haven't seen him, so I can't judge. We're just, at the moment, we're in our scouting bag. That's what we're doing.
And he'll definitely stay at Chelsea and not end up at Strasbourg.
Yeah. This one is not going to Strasbourg. This one's not going. This is the new Vitesse. It's the new Vitesse
club. This
is the new Vitesse. It's the new Vitesse. You guys should get one. I know you had Southampton. You guys, have you ever had a feeder club? Leipzig. Is that your,
Leipzig,
You guys got a feeder club?
Yeah. We don't normally
just get yourself a feeder club.
That is their feeder club. It's you.
How'd you work that one out? We're more
successful. Two-way feeder club.
I would say
we'd
more
be
like
more successful than
recycling waste system.
I'm on about when you buy the feeder club, you know what I mean, which is what he's done.
Right.
In the case of Strasbourg.
That's your feeder club, mate.
That's a good point.
And you think that Colwell,
he's staying, yeah.
He's definitely staying.
Oh, yeah.
Brighton have been trying to get him.
Because we didn't want to pay the money, right?
Yeah,
That's what you were tweeting.
Yeah, you guys didn't want to pay the money, and it's true. You don't want to pay the money.
And he's changed his Instagram.
Now he's changed his Instagram. The whole of Chelsea Twitter are doing laps.
He does want to go to Liverpool, though. I saw that Instagram live. Don't pretend.
Gerrard wanted to go to Chelsea, and you guys didn't let him as well. So it happens. Yeah. But everybody, right. You don't always get what you want in life. But listen.
What about this one? I'm going to put this one to both of you, because both of you have been linked with this one. PSG, right? Now, of course, the Mbappe saga that's been raging on. Mbappe turned down that big deal that we could have went to Saudi Arabia. He's not interested, wants to stay. PSG don't want him to stay there. They want to get some money for him. It's obvious that he's going to Real Madrid come the end of the contract. Liverpool and Chelsea both linked with a 1-year move.
And you?
You in Turkish told us that...
Us very loosely.
Wasn't it on this very... Before they went to America?
Yeah. He said 50%.
I never said nothing about 50%. But both your clubs being linked with a move for him of a 1-year loan.
It's not going to happen for Liverpool. No way does this happen. I get that he needs this year to fill before, because he can't just sit around and do nothing for a year. He has to play somewhere. But there's just no way with the finance. The Kevin Hart joke, the way my finances are set up.
Yeah.
Even for a year, our finances can't control that. And also, Klopp just doesn't do the whole player bigger than the badge thing. It doesn't happen. I could see him going there for a year. I could actually see that.
We don't do those wages either. We don't do those wages either. In terms of this recruitment from this recruitment from January, this is why Sterling's under a lot of pressure. If you look at all the guys that came in last summer, like Koulibaly was kind of fleeced off. Like Mount wanted a new contract, didn't give him to him. Havertz on good money got rid of it.
Got a new contract.
The streamlining they've done this summer has actually been quite impressive.
If you Kante, if you take a look at our wages,
the heavy hitters,
we have been hitting the heavy hitters hard, and we probably would have gone further, but it's got to be done gradually with the likes of Sterling, etc. If they don't perform, but we don't really aim to hand out those crazy contracts, which is why when people talk about Tchouameni and players like, it's just not going to happen. Yeah. So Mbappe's on $1 million a week. Listen, it does fit in with.
Would you take him for a season?
On a loan?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because he'll get me into the top 4.
I said
He'll get me into the top 4.
Where would he play? And you said wherever he wants to play.
He said where would he play? I said wherever he wants.
No, I mean we have a French.
Darwin ain't starting ahead of Mbappe.
No one is.
No, man.
Come on, cooking hype, man.
Am I saying would I have him? Of course.
Of
You'd
course.
be a sausage, not
Yeah.
just
Not
gonna
happen.
for a year. But I just don't see it. I know they've got to fill the headlines up and link him with clubs. Maybe his agent's doing a bit of that as well. But now it's after he's now rejected. Is it Al Hilal who made the bid? It actually is a genuine question. Where will he end up now?
I still think he's going to Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid is just biding their time.
Definitely.
They'll leave it until late
They
in the
can
window.
leave it till the last day and say,
literally.
listen, you're in the mud. You've
Take
got
it or
to
leave
sell.
it.
Here's
50
40.
million. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I reckon so.
Goodbye.
I reckon
Yeah.
something like that.
Not 40, but
No,
It could be
they
as
could
low
do
as
40.
10.
They could.
It could be as like
They-
40's better than nothing.
listen,
Yeah.
there's half an hour to go.
Yeah.
Here's 10.
Yeah.
Who else is going to bid?
It
No
could be-
one. So
it could-
thank you very much.
Yeah.
It could be that better than nothing.
knows?
Liverpool, Lavia.
Yeah, man.
Of course, Jordan Henderson talking to Saudi Arabia. He went for the bag last week. What was first of all? What was your thoughts on that?
The same thoughts that most people have. If someone offers you that money, you're going. Right? If someone comes to you and says, listen, forget all DR Sports, forget AFTV. I know you're on X. I won't bait out your financial situation, but I'll 10 times that. You're going to leave your morals at the door and you're going to sign that contract. Hendo.
I'm staying, man.
No, I'm just giving a situation. Robbie's not good.
just
Don't go
about
anywhere.
money.
It's about principles.
Principles.
What if they give you $1 million a week, Robbie?
He's going to think about
It's a bit hot under the collar now.
it. Why are you sweating, man? But-
You'll be back out there with Flex again with the. You know what I'm saying? You'll be out there. You'll be gone.
I'll
Shit,
be right
Robbie.
next to you, Robbie. Come in.
Sick done.
Inshallah. It can happen. No, listen, you can't turn down that.
No, but listen,
ridiculous.
you can't turn it down.
£700 a week for Jordan Henderson.
Exactly. You can't. He becomes the most well-paid English player of all time now. So
Yes,
listen,
you can't
respect
turn
to
it
him
down.
for doing it. There is that. I saw Stephen Fry talking about it yesterday on TalkSport how he's left his morals. He could never do that. But listen, everyone has their price, and he's gone. What he leaves on the pitch is obviously massive experience, leadership. We've seen our captain and vice captain Fabinho all go now. So the Lavias, these names have to be linked now because we're approaching August with 2 out of 3 signings made. But we did see Curtis Jones playing that number 6 role against Leicester the other day. Played really well, won 4-0. So yeah, again, Lavia needs to come in this week to be able to fully complete that midfield rebuild.
And sort of money you think is going to end up
50,
costing?
maybe 45 with 5
Overpriced?
add-ons. I don't think so. When you consider his stock, he's Premier League ready, comes from Man City as well. He's clearly a very exciting player. I saw how well he played at Old Trafford, the Emirates last season. So I'm really excited to get this one through the door, and I think after that there's a question to say, should Liverpool go and get a centre-back? I'm really liking Jarell Quansah, who again is coming through the academy, captain of the reserves, 20, English, great for the homegrown quota as well. And again, there's been links to other centre-backs, but I think get Lavia in, and I think we're good.
This guy, Cactus Max, he says Lavia is not worth 50 million, should go for a player like Thuram instead.
Yeah, I hear that. We've been linked with Thuram all summer, but at the same time, if you were to pick one or the other, it's Lavia. Premier League experience. Have you heard what Kevin De Bruyne said about Lavia? As a Belgium international, he's glittering in his praise for him. So again,
He's not going to say it's crap, is he?
ask him what he thinks.
I remember when
Right.
Vincent Kompany was doing La Congo propaganda
Lukonga,
because they're both from Belgium
the
as
new
well.
Yaya Toure,
Yeah,
he said.
Okay, well, listen, he's still young.
Yaya Toure, no
He's got
Toure
time on
at
his
all.
hands. Where is he now? At Palace? Lukonga?
No, he's
back at Arsenal. Back now, he was on loan.
Looks like he could be going on loan to Burnley.
Oh, that was it. Yeah,
so
do it, man.
maybe
If Company's going to praise him, he should
Company
take him.
can get
Yeah.
the Toure out.
If he doesn't play him, then he's a liar.
Yeah.
Disgrace.
I've got a note here. It says crucial hours for Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich officials are prepared to for a meeting in London
We've heard about this though.
with
for
Daniel
Bayern.
Levy for direct talks.
Yeah.
To take place around an
It was
80
supposed to be
million
last
euro
week,
package.
this meeting.
The Harry Kane saga rumbles on, but he's starting to look like he could go to Bayern Munich.
I think I hear the same kind of story rehashed every week at this point. I don't think we've seen any kind of progress. We've heard the personal terms have been agreed for weeks. I think Bayern have just been kind of haggling kind of how much in terms of upfront and add-ons, but really it's no new story. I mean, Bayern keep talking about, yeah, we're confident. Pay up the money then, if you're that confident. And the thing is, it's like we've set a price, and I've said all summer, Levy's going to play hardball with Kane because of the lack of options out there. I think you've got a new manager coming in. He doesn't want to completely destabilize him and take away his key component. But then also, it's like you've put a price on him, and the price is not me met. I'm sorry, but that's money we could use for almost 2 new centre-backs, which we're dying for. But and also in replacing Kane. So,
you know what I mean? Again, it could be a situation that these guys were talking about earlier with Mbappe, where, you know, Bayern just say, oh, well, we just chill till the end of the window, then come in with an even lower bid.
Yeah.
If you don't take that, Kane stays at Tottenham, but then come January, he can do a deal with Bayern Munich anyway.
He could.
To go and join them for nothing.
And that's where the lack of planning, where Spurs fans have been frustrated, the lack of planning, the lack of direction. I mean, we've got a director of football in jail, for goodness sake. So it's, how do you kind of... I would love it. Hey, listen, I'm ready, baby. The rack is here. I'm ready. Give me some. You know what I mean?
The difference, though, on this one for me, though, is that Mbappe is only going to Real Madrid. He's made that very clear.
Yeah.
That is a done deal. That's where he wants to go. Harry Kane will choose someone else over Bayern Munich if offers start to present themselves in January, and now you've got Man United, you've got, you know, Bayern Munich, you've got potentially other clubs, you've got a list. He might not go to Bayern Munich, so Bayern Munich kind of do need, if they really want him for the next 3-4 years, they do need to actually put together some sort of serious package that Tottenham will accept. But also it's
Kane, I think, will still want to stay in the Premier League if the January options do come. I think United, if they come in
over it.
But for me, I'm been surprised that they actually managed to agree to Hojlund deal, because that pretty much rules him out.
Yeah,
but
for the
it'll
summer.
Be interesting. Yeah.
But why Bayern Munich even here anyway? Like, let's talk about this. Why are they coming in for Premier League players? Since when do Bayern Munich going for Rice, going for Kane, going for Walker, going for Raya? They usually pick up a couple freebies off Dortmund and keep it moving.
The German well is starting to dry up, lads. They've realised now they've needed to replace a striker of Lewandowski calibre. Last season, they plastered over the cracks, and Kane is of that calibre, unfortunately. So they know not getting Kane is basically going to put them back into that Champions League contention. Yeah. I think over the last year or two, they've kind of fallen out of that kind of favourites in the Champions League title because they're missing Lewandowski. But with Kane, because that's why.
It's usually just a German all-stars team from Bundesliga.
But if that's the difference Kane can make for you, and I kind of understand it, they're saying if we get him and we win the Champions League with him, you get your money then type of thing. But that's not a guarantee. That's where I think the issue is if you get Kane, it's not a guarantee that you get the Champions League. So
Mukhtar Ahmed and also a lot of people in the comments are saying it's the Tuchel factor as well. Why they're after these English players? Of course, he's been in the Premier League and he knows these players inside out.
Yeah.
But that one's going to rumble on and on. I think the whole Harry Kane thing. Arsenal at the moment exploring a deal to sign Brentford's 27-year-old goalkeeper David Raya.
What do you think about that?
Which has been really, really interesting. Came out of the blue yesterday. David Ornstein from The Athletic dropping the news. I must say, surprising to me because I'm looking at other areas that Arsenal may possibly be looking at, maybe a cover on the right wing. Raya is a player that, you know, Mikel Arteta's been after even before he got Ramsdale. They put in a £10 million bid for Raya, which was rejected at the time. He's a top goalkeeper. A lot of clubs, I know Tottenham were interested in him, a lot of Man United. But it's that £40 million fee that Brentford again are demanding for a player that's only got 1 year left on his contract. I don't think there's any way.
I think he's worth it,
Arsenal
though.
are going to pay that. I really don't. And it's surprising because they got Ramsdale there. Raya would be coming in as a number 2 basically, but he would be a number 2 that would really, really push Ramsdale.
I don't believe.
And then on the other hand, Matt Turner, who's the backup goalkeeper at the moment, he's American international, their number 1 goalkeeper. He's been linked with a move away to Nottingham Forest. So maybe if he goes to Forest, that then opens the way up for Reya to come in. But this one's really come out of the blue for me. And I just don't think, I mean, Thomas Frank saying that, you know, Reya's worth £40 million. I think if he's got 3 or 4 years left on his contract, but with 1 year left, No one's going to pay that. And so many teams have looked at it.
Could it be though that you do end up paying it because Arteta just wants to send that signal of intent for competition? Because let's not forget, Ramsdale came in when Leno was still the number one, and he ousted him.
No,
and
it's ruthless.
That was a 30 million signing at the time. Where people said,
ruthless
"Hold on, it's a relegation. It's a relegated."
Yeah, but he didn't have 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah, no. And Ramsdale's just signed the new deal as well. He's got 1 year left on his deal, but I'm saying, could it be a sign of intent where Arteta? You look at it. You've signed Timber. You've signed Havertz. You've signed Declan Rice. You've got quality additions where he's just like, now we're not just good on the 11 aspect. Now we've got depth. We know we're going to have Champions League. We might want to do a deep run in the Champions League. We need 2 top quality goalkeepers. I mean, it could be a good thing.
No, listen, I'm not against it. I mean, it'd be a quality goalkeeper to bring in. It's just a bit surprising for me. And as I said, Matt Turner's not a bad backup goalkeeper, even though he didn't play a lot of goals last season. Games last season, but he's not a backup keeper, not a bad backup keeper.
I just don't believe in competition in goal. I really don't. I think you have a clear, undisputed first choice, which the back line believes in, and they know that is the goalkeeper, and then you have a good second choice. I think even from a Chelsea side of things, when we had Mendy and Kepa, I didn't like the whole back and forth rotation. If you've got a top world-class goalkeeper, your Czechs, your Courtois, De Gea in his prime, Alisson, Ederson, wherever the top goalkeeper is, you have that as your first choice. There isn't a debate. I think the fact that there is a debate is now maybe Arsenal fans coming to the realization they're like, oh, maybe Ramsdale isn't as good as we think he is. I'm seeing a lot in the comments, Raya's better than Ramsdale. Where was this talk when Ramsdale was playing top of the league?
Well, I'm not saying that.
I know you're not, but the fact that the narrative can just change like that. Arsenal were top of the league. They were having a near perfect season up until February. Ramsdale was part of that team, and now I'm hearing that Raya's better than him. Like Raya's 40 million to spend 40 million on someone that could be on the bench.
I don't think, as I said, I don't think Arsenal are going to spend 40 million. And as I said, it says they're exploring a deal. They won't spend 40 million, but they may look at it if they do move Matt Turner on to Nottingham Forest, because Nottingham Forest, as we know, they've been trying to get Dean Henderson in from Man United. Man United want about 20 million for him. They may be looking at it and saying, well, a cheaper option might be to get him. A Matt Turner, who also might let go for, like, say, a 15 million. They only paid 6 for him.
And don't forget,
it could be one of those ones with dominoes
I feel like
falling to let it happen.
Goalkeepers is always like that.
Definitely with Raya, I think what they like about him is that distribution side of him. He's got a very, very good distribution.
Yeah, completed passes 61% compared to Ramsdale 65. Clean sheets 12. Ramsdale was 16 in the Prem last season. I don't really think that this deal makes sense for either party. Yes, I know that Frank has put a 40 million price tag on Raya's head, but if they sell them to Arsenal for 40 mil, then they've got to go out and buy a goalkeeper who's as good as Reya, and I don't think the competition is necessary. I think Matt Turner's fine as a number.
Arsenal not going to pay 40 million for Raya.
But I just don't get where the whole thing has come from.
I just feel like it would make more sense to go with an older goalkeeper. I know you're looking for someone to play out from the back, but you look at like a Navas, or you look at Sommer at Bayern is leaving. You've got Bono at Sevilla. Like someone experienced, someone experienced. Alisson. I could understand the trade-off and the balance there, but to have 2 youngish goalkeepers fighting for one position, it just doesn't. For me,
and again, going back to Matisse's point, I think it was 70 days ago, we saw Ramsdale announce his new contract. Has there been something happen in the last 70 days where the manager goes, actually, my 100% trust has wavered. I only trust you 80 now, so I'm going to get a second.
I don't think it's that. I just think it's what you were saying. They want serious competition for places everywhere. But I can't have a little agreement with what Matisse is saying.
Yeah, I'm convinced me with that. I can't lie.
It gets messy. You have one bad game and then everyone says,
call the other backup in. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we'll have to wait and see how that one develops out. But that's one of the links today. Let me do a couple of comments, by the way. There was this one that came from a Chelsea fan. Todd Miller, big Chelsea fan, he says there's some magic in the air. 12 GF v 4 GA in the pre-season versus last year's disaster. A manager that looks and sounds the part and fit players. So he's really looking forward to the season like you, Matisse.
It annoys me how happy Chelsea fans are with Poch.
With Pochettino. Jamon's in
One
there
step at a time.
he says, Don Robbie, it was great meeting you guys in New York City. I'm looking forward to the season. I wonder how Arteta will set up the midfield. That's going to be interesting now that it looks like definitely Thomas Partey will be staying. Big Ben says Mbappe is going to Madrid. He's silenced because of the 60 million clause that activates tomorrow.
Loyalty clause, yeah.
Right? After that, Madrid are going for him. The funds are there. So let's see how that works. And he says, he also goes on to say, Jay Mons again, says, I agree with Matisse. It's like the NFL. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. So people are agreeing with you there, Matisse. And ZZZZZ says, Brentford have already replaced Raya with Flecken. Right, so they've already replaced him, but they are not going to get 40. Look how many teams have gone in.
Yeah.
United went in when they had 40 million. They said, "See you later." So did Tottenham. So did Bayern. They're not getting that.
Look,
They're not getting
the thing is with Raya as well, like he's not devoid of mistakes as well. He can make errors, and you think about it. If you felt like Ramsdale maybe needed it upgraded on, then why give him a new contract, and why not go and get like the AC Milan keeper, Mike Maignan, or someone like top class, someone that elevates you to the next level, and then you could put maybe a Ramsdale on the bench. But I don't feel like Raya is a big enough. I don't think he's a good enough goalkeeper to really.
I do like him though.
He's good. But
I mean, United wanted him before Onana.
Good,
But yeah, as a number 1 for Arsenal, or to come in and challenge the number 1, I don't think it's needed, especially with how Ramsdale has kind of, really got all the Arsenal fans on his side.
Yeah. What have you got made of Manchester United, of course, about to get Rasmus Hojlund for £72 million when you add all the add-ons into it? Is he worth that? I mean, we was having this debate over on AFTV, in Balogun, who scored 21 goals last season. I know it was in the French league, which is not quite as good as the Italian league. Hojlund got 9.
Yeah.
Now, the differences in age, not big. I mean, all right, Balogun's 22, but he only just turned 22 this July. I mean, 72 million of Manchester United overpaid, and is he going to start? I mean, he's only...
He's going to start. He's going to start.
He's getting a great prospect, but he's only 20. I mean, that's a lot to carry on your shoulders as a 20-year-old, leading the line for Manchester United. If those goals don't come in, I mean, we've seen bigger names than him struggle.
Well, Fuad and I were talking about it on the last show in terms of that Old Trafford pressure. If he goes 2 or 3 games at home, especially without scoring, it grows and grows, and it digs into your mind, eats away at your confidence. But is he worth 70 million? No. Is that the market's fault? Yeah, I would say so. And Manchester United going in for him, does that now mean that they won't throw their hat in the ring for the Kane race if that comes down to the wire? Probably not now, after they've invested so much. So he has to start scoring as soon as possible, and we should be giving him the same pressure on his shoulders that we gave to Darwin last year when he came for that price.
I knew you were going to say that.
All this tit for tat,
all the time. He doesn't forget. He doesn't forget.
Tribalism begins.
He doesn't
This
forget.
is how divisions begin.
Because if Flex was here, he'd be.
He remembers all of the Nunez-Haaland comparisons. Now it's Hojlund versus Haaland.
Okay, so let's see how we get on.
That's another pressure.
Time will tell.
So hard.
Sky Sports have already started.
The fact that his name's Hojlund.
Yeah, they've already started.
And he's Scandinavian as well.
Yeah.
That puts more pressure on him, doesn't it?
They've already started. I've seen Sky Sports have put up a couple of little sheets and his goals and his games and So they're not wasting any time.
I said before it came, it's going to be a gamble. But I think with any new signing, they're going to have an adaptation period. And I think one of the things I've always said is moving to United and dealing with that kind of Old Trafford pressure has always proven tough for some signings anyway. We've seen that with Martial, we've seen that with Sancho, Anthony over the last year. Like, you might be killing it wherever you were, but once you come to the Premier League and under those bright lights, because United, it's always expected that this is going to be the signing to take us back to kind of the big time. And now you've come in as almost like the number 9 position that they've been looking for a number of years. Lukaku's failed, Ronaldo's come back and failed, Zlatan's come and gone, like Martial hasn't worked, Rashford isn't really in line. Now you're going to be the big 72 million. Listen, it's a lot of pressure to deal with, that's all I'm going to say, but the question is, I think his mentality will be tested. The biggest thing, I think, coming into this early season, it won't be about, personally, it's not going to be about goals. I don't think it's kind of more how does he adapt to the league. I think physically he's got everything. When you look at it, he's got the finishing ability. He's quick, he's strong, but how is that strength going to kind of play into your playing style? The link-up play, the hold-up. In the Premier League, all those things get tested, and all those questions are going to be asked. So
I think Man United seems to be going down a transition. I'm going to say counter-attack, because I do think with Onana they're going to try and still play out from the back, and they're going to still play a certain way.
But he gives you that kind of
They're
adaptability.
going to be very direct, and I think they're going to try and hit the channels and have Hojlund in behind and Rashford in behind, and try and they're not going to to be slow. They're not going to be methodical.
I saw that we played them in pre-season, and they're all about counter-attack.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything was about counter-attack.
They just get the ball forward very quickly. When you look at Mount, Fernandes, you look at Rashford, Hojlund, this is not a team that are going to take time getting the ball forward.
This is now as well, it's like they've got a goalkeeper. Last season they were one of the kind of deepest lines if you looked at it defensively. It was one of the things were always saying, that's why your defensive record's so good. Now you've got Onana that almost automatically pushes that line up. And then you've also now got a number 9 that can physically hold up the ball up there, dragging you up the pitch, if you like. So I'm expected United to be a lot more kind of front foot, even if you like, even though it might be kind of direct. Definitely playing in a more attacking sense for sure.
I agree with that. Will they get Sofian Amrabat? The defensive midfielder was brilliant in the World Cup from Morocco. Plays for Fiorentina. Man United have been heavily linked with him, but no bid yet. We're being told today that Al Ali, Saudi Arabian team, are interested also in signing him, which changed the whole dynamic on it as well. I'm surprised Spurs haven't gone in for a player like this.
We're kind of stuck in that position, to be fair. We've got Bissouma, we've got Skip, we've got Højbjerg, we've got Bentancur, we've got Pape Sarr. Listen, it's a backup option. I know, but we've got Bentancur, Højbjerg. There's plenty of options, but I think for United, he could be so key, because as good as kind of Casemiro was, he is over 30. His legs are going to get on a bit, and I think the last thing you kind of want is for him to expire right in front of your eyes. I think bringing in Amrabat gives you that kind of assurance you've got to cover as soon as his legs start to go, but then also that kind of, if you play them together, that is a unit to have in front of you. And I think one thing he showed at the World Cup as well, I saw glimpses of him in the Conference League final as well. He can play on the ball as well. Guy is an absolute warrior. So he's an ideal box to box next to Casemiro.
The thing is about this, right? And I always think this sometimes about certain players. You can see it. I can see it. I saw it in at the World Cup. He's one of the best players. You saw him at the World Cup, brilliant. You know about his ability. So why are not loads of clubs coming in for him?
Liverpool were linked to him for ages.
That wanted defensive midfielders. Why is nobody taking that dip in? This is what's really surprised me with it. Is it something that we're missing? Is it something that when they've done their research, he doesn't do it week in, week out? I don't know, because it's a real strange one for me. Like you're on the verge of paying nearly £50 million for Lavia.
He would be perfect.
He would be available much cheaper.
Bro, he's not old, he's 26. In January, we were linked with him straight after the World Cup, and I think there was a hesitancy in terms of, is it just the World Cup? He's fighting on twice a week for Morocco. Look how far they got. Everyone's behind him. He was very patriotic for his country. That's all great. But we've seen how that doesn't actually translate to being a great player in the Premier League. We've seen it with James Rodriguez in 2014. I'm not necessarily putting him in there. I'm just thinking. Your question is, why haven't other teams gone for him?
To me,
Maybe that is some research that they found. Again, he's been linked with Liverpool for so long, even this summer, and now I think United have been linked with him.
And I think that's the thing. He's had so many suitors, I think, over the past 6 months. I think at one point he had Atletico. He had a deal agreed with them this summer. So it's not like he hasn't got a lack of options. I think that he hasn't had the offer that he wants from the club he wants. So he's kind of taken his time as well. So clubs haven't felt the need Saudi to go all out.
Who's to say he
could just say
Saudi offer, and if that's a big offer, you know what I mean, he's from Morocco, so it wouldn't be hard to adjust there.
I think there's just been so much talent in the Premier League in central midfield last season. You look at McAllister, Rice, Caicedo, Lavia, that no big club wanted to leave the table with nothing. with all of those midfielders going, and they're all going to be around for the next 10 years, no one wanted to say we didn't get any one of those players. And I feel like Amrabat was always going to get left to last because he wasn't in the Prem, and people aren't sure as to whether it's just a World Cup kind of rise and then kind of tailing off against for Florentino.
But has he been week in, week out unreal for Fiorentina? Has he though?
I don't know. That's the question, isn't it?
I don't think he's pulled up trees because
I think he was good in the.
Heard about
he was good in the final. Europa League final.
Yeah, in the Europa League final, he was very good. So maybe,
they lost though.
Going to be interesting. They did lose.
They did. Yeah.
Just want to remind everybody, by the way, the game for Ukraine, which is taking place on Saturday. That of course is Zinchenko and Shevchenko putting that game together to raise money to rebuild a school in Ukraine. You can join me. We're going to be doing a special game for Ukraine in the metaverse where you'll be able to watch the game, right? They're going to be streaming it live, and also I am going to be in the metaverse live, and you can come in and join me with your avatar.
Yeah, man. I'm actually gonna.
He has seen it. No, I do. Yeah, and the worst thing is, it's actually got like the half and half colour. I was like, yo, fair play, man.
You're gonna have to just keep that forever. I'm gonna be at the game as well, Rob.
You're gonna be at the game as well. So if you guys want to get involved in it, click the link in the description. It is the coolest thing you'll probably do this week, right? So make sure you.
The one with Kanu was special for you as well.
The one in Kanu was brilliant.
It was wicked.
Let me just run through some of the comments as well. Loads of super chats coming in. AJ says, question for Fuad. Who would you want to replace Kane with? And he says, also tell him to stop being edgy with his Travis Scott album review.
Edgy.
I haven't heard that. He just came out.
Just dropped the new album.
No, you're not feeling it?
Bit weak.
It's not for me, I think.
That's his opinion.
I'm going to download it tonight.
Not for me, really.
I'll give you my verdict.
Give me your verdict, actually. I want to hear that soon, actually.
Right.
But replacement, I've said, I don't think there's a ready-made replacement. I think Colomwani is an option who I think I'd definitely consider. If it's not him, honestly, I'd probably stick Son through the middle and maybe go Solomon, Kulusevski on either flank just to kind of see how that goes.
Richarlison.
Or him, you can kind of.
He's got no confidence in him.
I'm just saying. Okay, maybe him is on the left wing. We can see how that works. Maybe second season there's a jump.
I think if you're playing Son down the middle, you could have that Mane kind of.
Yes, Mar9. I was calling him that year, where he was just.
It's not like Son's a great dribbler or a great chance creator or a great passer. He's a finisher. So put him in the middle. You got Richarlison challenging him, so you got competition.
Richarlison can do all the doggies.
Get a top right winger. Like a good.
Kulusevski.
Yeah. Well, Kulusevski on the right. I think you should get better than Solomon on the left.
I would want the Kane money to be reinvested into centre backs. I'll be honest with you.
Go
and get me a top tier.
There isn't a number 9 that you could just go.
I'm talking 90, 100 mil. Go crazy. Right. Go and get me someone that's like, oh, okay, they're really trying to get back up there.
Some of that Rock Nation money.
I'm ready, man. Beyonce every week. Aye, come on.
Halftime shows.
Beyonce.
Come on, man. Hey,
this is what they are now.
Schaefer Smith says, love our Chelsea fans are happy with their team, but it's not top 6 quality.
I don't think we are.
Under 23 squad with a lot of potential, but not enough experience, he says.
I don't think we are happy with our team. A lot of us have been saying we want a different goalkeeper. We don't have confidence in Kepa.
I saw the manager the other day saying he's happy.
That's why I'm going to have to disagree with Poch. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have to disagree. Maybe it's PR. I don't know if we can afford the goalkeepers that we would get, like a Mike Maignan, or whether we actually do trust Kepa and we want to go with him. If we do, then we may find out the hard way once again that he's not levels and he's not good enough, because I don't think he is. We've been looking at Caicedo for the last month. I still feel like we need to get him as well.
80 million turned down.
Yeah, 80 million turned down.
Is that overpriced?
I think 80 million should be the cut-off for him in terms of his price, but that midfield market right now, everybody's paying 100 million for each talent, so you kind of have to get with the program. So, and it's not like as if we haven't been spending money. Everybody knows we've been spending money, so they're not going to exactly give us a cheap rate or a nice rate. So yeah, I think it's more Caicedo's agent's fault for not getting a release clause in the contract in January when they signed the new deal. You look at McAllister went for 35. That's ridiculous. He's worth double that.
All right, Gigantesco says £210 million for Anthony, Mount and Hojlund. Eric Ten Hag's talent ID stinks, he says. Big Ben says, Fuad, do you fear that Spurs might end up being the modern-day Leeds? Look from a sporting direction how clubs like Newcastle and Brighton are moving and compare it to Spurs. Spurs are so badly managed, he says.
I agree, we are badly managed, but I think Leeds was a whole different kind of financial situation. I think every club kind of goes through their kind of highs and lows. I think we've been going through a low for quite a while now. That's the problem, but I don't think it's an unsavable situation, if that makes sense. I think right now this season, if anything, we've got the benefit of there being no expectations. I don't think anybody's got Tottenham in their top 6. I think people are anticipating Aston Villa to even finish above us. I think we've got no European football, a new manager coming in who wants to implement a new identity and culture. If anything, this is almost like a reset year. Harry Kane could potentially be leaving, so we're losing our best player as well. So this year, I feel like it's almost like a write-off, really get back to the bare bones, but I still think there's enough quality within the squad and from this manager to not be in the relegation zone bottom half.
KD says, Fuad, what about Gonçalo Ramos?
Not a bad shout, I'll be honest with you. Portuguese international scored the hat-trick at the World Cup, I remember, but for Benfica has been a regular goal scorer. I think sometimes people
very expensive.
His price would be scary, and then I think sometimes people have said in big games he does tend to disappear. I know 1 or 2 Benfica fans, but definitely a good option. Yeah, him and Kolo Muani would be up there.
Yeah. By the way, Fabrizio Romano tweeted out, or should I say X'd out? What is it? Is it X'd now?
Yeah, it's X'd. It's now X'd.
Man.
He X'd, right?
It's X'd.
The breaking news, Ousmane Dembele has said yes to Paris Saint-Germain. Initial green light to the proposal has arrived. PSG verbally agreed a 5-year deal with Dembele's agent, and PSG have sent a formal letter to Barcelona. Now they're trying to close the deal. Now this is all to do with the fact that Ousmane Dembele has got a release clause that a lot of people didn't know about, right? PSG knew about it, right? Which means that he can move, what was it, 50 million? 50 million pounds, right? And but it's got to be done by the 31st of July, which of course is today. And they have activated that release clause, and it looks like Ousmane Dembele is going to PSG.
Sensible replacement, I feel like. Sensible replacement. In terms of not breaking the bank, but you're also rebuilding. They bought Asensio, they've still got Neymar, but you can obviously see that they're kind of almost shading him away and putting the new lads in.
Yeah,
I think it's a win-win for him and PSG. I don't think this goes down as a groundbreaking transfer, but him, playing for France, he's obviously been, cast away a little bit at Barca. He's actually been there a while now.
I was going to say, listen, as much as I've always thought that as well, to be fair, but I do think having paid the money that they paid, the years of patience Barca gave him from injury after injury, moments where he was unprofessional, moments where he just went completely missing,
staying up late,
missing up big chances in certain big games, just completely going MIA for parts of the season. I feel like Barca and Barca fans have always kind of stuck by him and said like, that's our golden child, he's going to come good, to now almost like just take the easiest route out in PSG and Paris, which I feel like is just home comfort for him, essentially. I'm honestly disappointed in him because I always thought you kicked your feet up at Dortmund, where you had a perfect platform to kind of grow and harness your kind of ability to go and move to Barca. To now you've kind of leaving there, not having fulfilled your potential, not having given them their money's worth, fans kind of feeling like you've done them dirty. You say it's a win-win for him and PSG, but for Barca, I feel like it's a massive
it's a big L. It's a big L.
I think their fans are not going to be happy with this.
But it's time to move on for Barca. They can't hold on to
I hear that as well.
Anymore.
I hear that as well. Maybe it is time to kind of move on from him and kind of give up the hope. But I just think at the time, the noise that was made, the fee that was paid, the potential that was talked about. He was
ridiculous. He was up there with the top talent. I remember with him, João Felix and a few others that were like touted as the next generation that are going to come up, and there was no weaknesses in his game. He could score goals, shoot with both feet, cross with both feet.
He didn't even realise that he was taking penalties with the different foot to what he was. He's like, oh yeah, I'm right-footed. They're like, you scored with your left. He's like, oh yeah, I'm left-footed as well.
Yeah, no, he had everything. So it's just the injuries and not having the focus as well. You talk about the professionalism as well. He's having a patch where he was going through that as well.
Reminds me a little bit of your kind of Van Persie situation, where you've got a player there, you can see the talent, you can see the ability, and you guys gave it, what, 6-7 years before you finally saw that gunman. And then he goes, okay, you've had your 1 year. I'm off. See you later. Titles. It's a bit like, come on, bruv. You owe us a little more than that.
Well, he's off. I mean, he's going
Said
to...
yes.
He's going to PSG, and that will be a blow. I was watching him play last week against Arsenal for Barcelona. He missed a couple of chances in that game. He can be that type of player.
He does.
Remember the one against Liverpool in the Champions League?
Yeah.
When Barca were 3-0 up, he could have finished the tie. We come back and win 4-3.
Yeah. We will also never forget the Hall of Shame World Cup final. Hall of Shame.
Matthias Franca. Apparently in the UK today to undergo a medical at Crystal Palace.
That's that Brazilian guy, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's from
big hype around this kid.
A 20 million euro fee from Flamengo. It's going to be about 25 million pound when all the add-ons are, but he's joining Crystal Palace. So a bit Palace making some moves there. Maka.
You know what that means, though? That probably means Michael Olise will probably make a move.
So I was just gonna, do this comment and get. All right, let me get straight into the Olise thing now. Olise being heavily linked with Chelsea. Chelsea confident that they can win the race to sign the French under-21. He's also been linked with Arsenal as well. Arsenal looking for a backup to Saka. Olise?
I don't think he should be going to be a backup to Saka. That's the first thing. I think he's way too talented for that. I think ideally, I thought,
but he's not going to start ahead of Saka, is he? So
then he shouldn't move to Arsenal. I think it made most sense to go to City and do the Mahrez role, because obviously Bernardo Silva's always been on the edge of an exit.
Been linked with Man
so that would have made a lot of sense. I think that makes the most sense. Even the Chelsea one, as much as I think he's very, very talented, and listen, I'd be very excited to have him. We have a lot of right wingers already. If anything, it's a kind of like a 10 that we're looking at for maybe if Nkunku was to get injured. But I don't really understand why we're going for him unless we're going to sell someone. You know, you look at Sterling's been playing right wing for us. Madueke has been injured. He has to come back as well. So we have right wingers out there. So I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one.
Madueke to Strasbourg, maybe?
Nah, I don't. Listen, I mean,
Strasbourg thing is killing me.
The Strasbourg thing is your new Vitesse, isn't it, Robbie? Yeah. No, I don't see that happening. So this is why it kind of puzzles me. It's a strange one. And also Ian Maatsen has been really impressive in pre-season, and he's been playing on the flanks as well, on the wings, and he was at Burnley last season with Vincent Kompany. He's been getting goals, a couple of assists, very good technical player, so I want to see him in the first team squad next
You've also been linked with Mohamed Kudus.
That's the one that would make more sense.
Arsenal have also been linked with as well.
I think Olise makes more sense for Man City, though.
I would agree. Yeah.
Kind of like for like in playing style as well. I think he'd go a different level under Pep Guardiola as well.
More games as well, because Champions League, we don't have as many games to play. So Kudus makes more sense from a positional standpoint, because I've heard he can play false nine. I think he played up front against Liverpool and scored that top corner strike. As well. Yeah, he could play in the 10. I think for Ghana he played a bit deeper next to Partey, people were saying. So he makes more sense. He's got more positional versatility. He can play on the right as well. I've seen his injury record is a bit sketchy as well, but that does concern me a little bit. But he makes more sense to me. He definitely makes more sense.
Also linked to Arsenal today, Kvaratskhelia of Napoli.
I saw that.
You know what? Big up for pronouncing that name.
Yeah,
big up.
It's the only one he's ever got right.
Big up,
Ornstein.
I was like, yo, how do you pull that one off?
Have you been practicing, or did you just pull that one out of the bag?
I've heard them say on
Kvaratskhelia. I was like, okay, not even Grisha. Okay.
For me, I just go KK.
Hey,
I'm not even trying to.
It's a very difficult name to pronounce, but he's been linked with. I can't see this one.
That is going to cost you another 100. That's
a £100 million player in a position where Arsenal don't need. I mean, Arsenal have got.
What would you like to see happen?
Trossard has looked unreal in pre-season.
We've got a month left of the window. What would you like to see happen for Arsenal?
The Kudus one, I wouldn't mind. You know what I mean?
And is that the one you need?
Because I think he could cover on the right-hand side of midfield, so he could be that cover for Saka. That was one area that worries me. What if he's out for 2 months?
Nicolas Pepe.
You've got Pepe, still got Marquinhos.
Nicolas Pepe, 70 million from Lille. Rise!
Has he got a squad number?
Pepe is definitely going. He didn't go in the pre-season. He's Arteta's basically.
Marquinhos was used on the right though a little bit.
Marquinhos not ready yet.
No?
He's
Strasbourg
played.
Yeah, he can play on the right, but
this guy
having a proper
right winger.
Someone I'd like to see come in. And then I don't know.
I don't know if Kudus makes sense.
At first I was saying a defensive midfielder, but now that Thomas Partey's staying, you got him, you got Jorginho, you got Declan Rice. So I just look on it now and think we're getting close to, but what Mikel Arteta sort of said is that if he sees a real top quality player out there, he will get him.
You should get Ziyech. Ziyech should be seriously, Ziyech should be a great backup for Saka. Plays the same style of football from Ajax. Can whip a good ball in from Chelsea, and you've done it for Jorginho before. It makes sense, and it's experienced player probably would accept being backup as well.
It's a very Arteta move. It's a very Arteta player.
It's a very Arteta player. It's a very Arteta player. It wouldn't cost that much. It wouldn't cost that much. It makes sense. Brings a bit of experience as well. Yeah, it makes sense.
The funny thing is, I was chatting to Edu.
He's a good player. If you get him playing now, he's playing for Morocco.
I was chatting to Edu when I was over there in New York, and he said that actually buying players from Ajax, right, is always good because they play in exactly the same style as Arsenal. Yeah. So that's why, because I was saying to him, I've liked this Timber, how he's looked in pre-season. He looks a real top quality player. So you never know.
Listen, I remember your little Ziyech William little banter thing. That would be the perfect. Way.
That's why you want it.
That's the perfect way to do this.
That's why you want it.
Yes.
All of a sudden, it'd be wicked.
Makes sense. Transfer daily, Ziyech to Arsenal. What a signing! Unbelievable player.
You know the funny thing about it, right? Is as you're saying it, I'm like, it does make a little.
It does. Honestly,
it does.
Make a deadline day kind of. It could make sense. He's a good player.
He's been unlucky. All of his moves have just collapsed, haven't they?
He's on the right on the flanks.
His move collapsed because of injury as well.
Yeah. But he then said that he's not injured. And
no more injuries, mate.
He said that he's not injured.
Maka says, how can you say about Hojlund being overpriced when he hasn't even had a Prem season yet? And he's 20 years old. He fits United perfectly in profile.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, he does. All of that, but 72 million.
For 9 goals.
9 goals. Balogun at Arsenal, Inter Milan don't want to pay 45 million. I just think he is. Listen, it's the market. I'm not saying that Man United shouldn't buy him. That's the market. Everybody's over. Declan Rice was overpriced. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Havertz was overpriced. Like literally every player that's come into the Premier League is overpriced. And the Saudi market's not helping thing either because,
it's just inflating it.
That's inflating it even more. So it's not a slight on the player. It's just that it is overpriced for a player that's really still very unproven. And it's going to have to lead the line at one of the most pressurised clubs.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
That you can play at. Time will tell. Michael says, lose the Champions League final. Will Chelsea sack Pochettino?
Huh?
I don't understand.
We're not even in the Champions League. Are we in the Champions League?
FIFA
and Jonathan Norton says Arsenal
EFC,
have also inquired about Sanchez from Brighton, as they are reluctant to spend £40 million on Raya. That's another player who could be on the move.
He's available on loan
Sanchez
as well. Makes more sense. Yeah.
There's another player.
Come get Sanchez at Spurs, bruv.
You still need.
Nobody wants that,
free, man. Come
Nobody wants that, brother.
I give you one Sanchez with the other.
You got the wrong Ajax player there. De Ligt, De Jong, Timber. All these Ajax players. You pick up Sanchez. Crazy.
Todd Miller says Nicholas Jackson not overpriced.
Time will tell.
Time will tell, but looks good so far.
It's good price
good
for him
so far?
Yeah, let's go. Very good so far. Just don't
Abdul
want
Nasser says you can't judge based on goals. Jackson had 9 goals and he looks amazing.
I don't like how many people are getting.
Strikers are judged on goals.
I don't like how many people are getting onto this Jackson thing. Like, this is a Chelsea thing. The rest of you stay out of it, right?
United don't want to go down that road of, but he's passionate, like Weghorst, excusing the lack of goals. No, you're bringing in a gunman or a supposed future gunman.
You're going to be on to them this season.
I'm on to you, mate. Even the Nicholas Jackson one.
Yeah.
How many goals did he score in Spain?
11 for Villarreal.
Yeah,
and you guys got him for what?
35 million.
Yeah, so that's like half the price.
So are we saying
that's
more of a fair price? We all know it's overpriced for the numbers, but he could be that guy that comes in and in the year we look back and say what a great deal that was.
The fee is never counted if you deliver.
Exactly.
I would say that.
Exactly.
Deliver and then you won't hear from the likes of us.
Well, I'm sure he'll be hearing from you.
If you do not,
because
if you do not, he will be there
on a week-to-week basis.
Listen, when next time I do a match preview with Flex,
I can already see you with the comparisons up
Oh, he's going to be on
Darwin
it.
Núñez on one
I'll
side.
just be doing what Flex does. That's what
He'll
he
be
does.
there.
So why am I not allowed to do it?
He will be there.
Pure revenge he's looking for here.
The only thing I will say with Hojlund is that when you look at goals, you have to take a look at minutes played. You have to look at how many times a player is actually playing, starting. And I don't think he was starting consistently at Atalanta from what I'm hearing. Which makes it even more alarming that they're selling someone they don't start consistently for 70 million. But
they're happy to let him go.
We'll see, because he will have to start week in, week out at Man United. There's no doubt about that. So,
and we're talking about Manchester United here, Robbie.
Yeah,
it's not just
he's going to be under a lot of pressure. But
talking about Manchester
he
United,
can still deliver. We'll have to wait and see. We've come to the end of the show today. Don't forget that game for Ukraine officially in the metaverse on Saturday the 5th of August. You want to be part of that, right? Click the link in the description. You can watch the game and also come in. It's a bit like Fortnite, right? You'll be in there as well. Be joined by
do
me.
little dances and stuff.
Dances, it's going to be brilliant. You can see the locks flashing off of Fuad, right? Make sure you get involved, right? Click the link in the description. Guys, thank you very much, Fuad, as usual. Always. Matisse, also you, AGT. Brilliant show. To all you guys who are watching, and we will see you. We're back, Thursday?
Thursday, man.
Back on Thursday. See you then. On Saturday, the 5th of August, Alexander Zinchenko is going to be hosting a very special game for Ukraine. It's going to be taking place at Stamford Bridge, raising funds to rebuild a school in war-torn Ukraine. Now, there's going to be some real legends playing in this game. Now, if you can't get down there on the day, you will be able to join us in the metaverse, where you'll be able to come through and be a part of the game. You don't need to be at the stadium. You can actually be involved. This is for a great cause. It's building a better future for the children in Ukraine. Click the link in the description right now and get involved. This is going to be big.